everybody. Welcome to the Life Money Balance podcast. I am your host, Dr. Preston Cherry. We talk about letting your life lead your money and the tools and topics that help you on your journey towards life well being. Let's chop it up for the first time. Oh my gosh, this has been a something that I've had on my heart, my mind, my spirit for quite some time, and now I got to bring this platform to the public to where people can come connect and embark on their own life money balance journey. And what do we mean about life money balance? Keep saying let your life lead your money. There's a second part to that statement, which is not let your money lead your life. So, let your life lead your money, not your money lead your life. A little background about the show to set up the background and the philosophy and what's to come about the show. So you'll know when you come onto the show and listen what you can expect to learn, take away, engage, and feel when you listen to the show. There was a time to where in my life there was a just a strong disconnect between my life and my money, and it necessarily wasn't about the dollar cents of the money. It was a sense of no purpose. I was doing quite well during this period of my life. My mother calls periods of life seasons, and seasons have reasons. And during this time, during this particular season, which I thought was a wasteful season, and my mother told me this is not a wasteful season. During this particular time, I just wasn't living a healthy life. I was suffering emotionally, um, and my career was going well. I doing decently, but I was leaving a lot on the table as far as my own maximizing my opportunities, maximizing myself, maximizing my life aspirations. So they could have been more. However, I was dealing with things internally also. So when I was during that time, my insides were not feeling very well, and so my money was filling that gap. My money was going down that hole, and I could see that in my financial statements when I looked at my bank statement after I got paid, after I reviewed my money, and I went line by line. Sometimes I didn't even look at it. I didn't even look at it. It was shameful, actually, because my statements told a personal, very personal story. I didn't want to really. I didn't want to share that with anybody. I barely wanted to share that with myself. And so my money was leading my life at that time. And I actually keep an envelope. I've been through several sessions of doing what I call honest self audits of oneself, an HSA. There's health spending accounts that we have. So money that's a money mechanics, right? It's a money principle. Those are some of the things that we'll talk about on this show. But the money psychology of an HSA, which I termed, which is a healthy self audit, and that comes with reaching out and doing a lot of work. So I'm paraphrasing that time in my life to where it took a lot of work to work that out. And part of that is journaling and writing things down and working through that process, right? And I keep a journal, well, I keep an envelope still to this day of this this period of my life. Actually, there's a lot of papers that I keep, but this one particular envelope I keep to as a reminder, and actually has some bank statements inside of it. So I can tell when there was a disconnect between my money and my life, and my life aspirations were not readily defined during that period of time. So after I started coming after out of that fog after a lot of work and whatnot, I started turning that around. I said, I want my life to lead my money. Now, mind you, a lot of things doesn't have to be out of trial, far as wanting to have your life lead your money. You can have triumph too. You can have aspirations, transitions. You can have growth. You can have enlightenment as well. So it doesn't always have to be trial and trauma. Also, so it doesn't have to always be that. It can when we're going through life seasons. There's so many different transitions that we can go through in order to encourage us to engage with our life money balance journey so we can maximize and manage moments to give us more confidence and the like. This is just an example that a story that I'm sharing, and there's going to be so many other stories that you have, and then maybe guests on our show that they share, and then we'll partner them up with tools, money mechanic tools, in order to say, oh, okay, this is how we go about our journey to where our life and money works together. So continue on with the story. There was an moment there was an moment in life for at least for me to where I had to stop and take that healthy self audit, that HSA, and had this moment. It's three A's. I've written about this before, but I had to stop and admit where I was in life and say, okay, this is how I don't want to live anymore. Again, it doesn't always have to be traumatic. It also be triumph. It could just say, okay, this is what I wanted. This is how I'm living. This is how I feel about it. But these are my aspirations. This is what I want to do differently. So I have to admit where I am, you know. And then after that first A of admission, then there was an acknowledgement point. It's like I need to acknowledge my feelings about that period of time. And how do I process those feelings? Could it be, shame, guilt, regret, all of those, relationship with money, with that period of time in my life? How can I process that and forgive myself? Okay. So that was a period of time too. Again, it can also be a period of uh, positivity as well during that time. Acknowledge how you feel about not having confidence going to the next stage, or wonderment, or maybe you lack some definition of what that next stage can be. He's like things that make you go, hmm. Remember Arsenio Hall? Or as I'm dating myself here, remember Arsenio Hall used to say, okay, there's some things that make you go, hmm. And if you're listening to this show, you don't know who Arsenio Hall is, just Google that, that and then that will make you go, hmm. But yes, things that make you go, hmm. So that's acknowledge all those feelings about that, because we have to take an we have to have a process for that so we can get those feelings I to go get through them. Then we can clear them, or better know how to manage those in a manner that takes us to the next A, which is action. All right, it allows us to take action to our next step. All right, which is to, wow, we could take action towards our aspirations, and it's a continuation of the A's, and I call it the A block. Where we can align, aspire, achieve where we want to go. Right, we want to align our goals, align our values, align our culture and experiences, that what we have, align all that up. What is our life's design? What is that? What is that creation? What do we aspire to do? Okay, this is where we start getting into letting our life lead our money. Okay, how do we align our life with our next, with our goals? Align, aspire, our aspirations. Okay, this is the next A. Align, aspire. What do we aspire to do? You see how we're transitioning now, and then we go into the the element of achieving these and doing the work to achieving, both in the life aspect. And when we talk about life, It's, the money psychology aspects, the life aspirational aspects, and also the money principles aspects. And that's a journey. That's a journey. That is a journey. And that also how we are, listening to resources and partnering up with uh, either professionals or, putting it in the Google machine, put it in the Google machine, or getting feedback. How are we receiving information and guidance and or mentorship, coaching, counseling, all of these areas in order to maximize and manage us, help us maximize and manage our moments. So this is what this podcast is all about: is to help us through our journey and really just and really do it in a fun, but not everything's all going to be fun either. We're going to have some challenging moments too that we need to talk about. So we're going to be chopping it up. We're going to have some real talk stories. We're not going to fudge around with blanket statements or this, that, and the other. We're going to introduce some financial, wellness, education, information, and stuff that some platitudes that you may have heard, some general rules, but we're also getting to the nuts and bolts of what we're going to be talking about as well. Just taking a little deeper, deeper dive a little bit, so we can apply what we're taking away far as money principles are concerned, and then also money psychology as well, which is how we think, feel, and behave. What does that mean to us, and what does that mean to us? What's unique about our stories? Let's share. Let's be vulnerable. Let's let's share our unique experience. Let's be empathetic toward one another. Get better understanding toward what we're feeling. Because once we have these authentic moments, oh, this is where the magic happens. So we want people to come on to 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 share these moments, and I want you to have those takeaways too, because y'all real folk out there. Y'all are real folk. We want real folk on, and we want real folk listening, right? So this is what we want. How do these two things integrate? Money principles, money psychology, and have these takeaways and say, what, after I listen to the Life Money Balance podcast, I'm improved on my journey. After I give some time to that show, I'm actually uplifted after my experience with the show. And this is what this show is all about, and we want to bring to you. And we want you to. My grandfather used to say, rest his soul. He said, "Son, we well, actually, the story came from I gave him a card for a holiday one time. I think it was Christmas, and well, maybe his birthday, and I gave him a card and didn't have any money in it, and I wrote something nice in the card, and he said, son, this is real nice. This is real nice, but there's nothing in here that I can feel." And he said, next time you send me a card, I want some words in it, which is very nice. I said, but I also want something I can feel. Uh, so he wants the complete feeling of it, which was actually fortuitous in what he said, and I carry that to me now, which is having some financial feel to it, along with some emotional feel to it. He wanted the complete wholeness. All right. He wanted that wellness feeling in that envelope. And that's what we're talking about now. We're talking about that money psychology aspect, that emotional aspect of it, right? So he wanted that tug of heart, and then he was real talk with it. He said, I also want that money principle. I want them dollars in that envelope. Right? So he wanted the whole aspect of that. And so we're going to carry that forward as well. Give me something that I can feel, because life in of itself, more money in of itself, doesn't necessarily buy the actual happiness. Money itself doesn't buy the actual happiness. It does buy access to the path of happiness, which increases the probability of attainment and sustainment of that said happiness. So I know there's a lot of things out there that says, okay, money doesn't buy happiness, but it sure does buy access to the happiness, and it makes it the pathway a lot more easier. So this is another way we're getting to life money balance, right? Letting your life lead your money. It just feels better when your life aspirations, how you create your life's design, is leading your money direction, and your money is supporting that and using it as a tool, right? So and using your own stories, walking yourself into your own journey, saying, this is, I have a story like that, or my experience with money early on, my like cultural surrounding, my we call these scripts, my uh, my experiences, uh my introduction, my awareness to money, all of these groups together, all right, has led me to where I am now, and how I'd like to uplift that and where I want to go. And this is going to contribute to my boldness, my aspirational, my imagination to connect with this journey, because it takes courage to be embark on a journey. It takes courage to do that. It takes vulnerability to do that. It also takes and information and knowledge and education of money. There's so many aspects of money that are tied to our daily lives every day. It's not just about investments. It's not just about investments or your portfolio. It's about your employee benefits at your small business if you're an owner. It's tax. It's money management, money spending plans, money save investing. So because savings and investing is different. Uh, Insurances, oh my goodness, purchases, uh, uh, it's wow, d- uh, life events, marriages, children, travel, then maybe job loss, and maybe those uncertainty times. Okay, all of those are life events, but they have dollar aspects as well. They also have emotional aspects. Okay, every more than likely every time we're making a decision during our life or having an event during our life, there's a money uh, aspect tied to that, and so they're integrated. Again, life and money are working concurrently. That's actually where I got the title of the firm, Concurrent Financial Planning. Actually, is because uh, when your life and money are working concurrently, when they're working together to help you achieve your life's design in order to work towards your life's well-being. They're working concurrently, because if they're going in opposite directions, there's a disconnect. Concurrent also means working toward a similar, or a similar direction, or a common point. And that common point is life well-being. That common point is life well-being. And so we want to continue to strive to this common point. We want our life and money to work together, and we want to continue to strive to this common point. And that's what we're talking about. And oh, this journey and in this platform is going to help, is going to help continue to strive towards that. Is going to continue to strive towards that. And this is what we're going to continue to do. I'm so happy to bring this platform to, or this show, to you all, so you can continue to tune in and hear some thought leading experts. They're gonna just come on and open up about their story too, not just share information, because we need some information. We need some solid information that we need to be able to take away, but we also want people to just chop it up. We want people to hear people. We want people to hear people. When I say chop it, we're going to chop, right? And we're going to take information and make it plain speak, so we could take these money concepts, right? The money mechanic concepts. If we're talking about, portfolios, if we're talking tax, if we're talking insurance, if we're talking, home purchases, if we're talking, uh, uh, equity compensation, if we're talking about, uh, budgeting, spending, if we're talking about all any type, charitable giving, estate planning. Oh my goodness, the list is long. But we're going to bring some simplicity to it. We're going to bring stories to it, because more often than not, when we're talking about money mechanics, yes, we're going to have uh, the 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 details of that and say, okay, here's X, Y, and Z, and then you can partner up with the Life Money Balance blog to where you can get more expanded details. More than likely, there's a story connected that'll help us say, oh, okay, that's how that goes, right? So we'll also be talking about the money psychology aspect of thing and blending them together. And sometimes we'll just have shows on either or. We'll have people on sharing their expertise and their stories, again, chopping it up. We're going to have conversations, something that you'll enjoy. And then also, I'll sometimes do shows myself to where I'll share a couple of stories, right? And we will go through a show, and I'll share some stories along with some real takeaways, to where when you tuned in, you say, I want to hear about, maybe financial infidelity. This is where couples, hide information from each other financially, right? What is that aspect? What are we talking about there? Okay. I may have a guest on about that, or I may talk about that myself, right? We may talk about. I mentioned health savings accounts at the top of the show. What what is that? What does that mean? What are those? How can they help me manage my household's uh, medical expenditures throughout the year? What are the mechanics of that? What are the rules of those? How do I how do I maximize those? What do we talk about IRAs? How does that fit into a retirement scheme? Uh, Estate planning, getting your wills together, this, that, and the other, whatever that topic may be. So yes, we'll talk about that too. Either I'll be talking about that, or I'll have a guest on. So all bringing all this thing together. So I just want to continue to share. I just want to wrap this show up by sharing with you that life money balance is is personal. It's very personal. It's personal to you when we're talking about, creating your life's design. What is that? What is that? What does that mean to you? What, because it is a feel. I often share with people, uh, you know, sometimes you just have to feel it or gone through it to know what it means. You have to have gone through an it to know what it means. So when we talk about life money balance, yes, there could be a definition: let your life lead your money. Have you gone through an it to know what it means or it feels like? Because that transformational event or that transformational experience, when you decide to go after your aspirations and go through that moment and create your life's design to where your life and money are working concurrently, and you are going forward toward your journey, that and you feel it, that is an it, and sometimes words can't explain it. You say, "Ah." Remember that moment I was talking about? It said, "Ah, ah." There was if you're a movie watcher, we're quoting a lot of movies in here, and movie music. We're talking a whole bunch of stuff. But remember the moment you're coming to America? The old man at the end of the movie is that Hey, where is this? What he says? Give me some soup. He says, what's wrong with the soup? Is the soup too hot? The soup too cold? He said, what's wrong with the soup? He said, nothing wrong with the soup. Where's the spoon? And he said, So for you coming to America fans, go ahead and watch the end of that movie. But yeah, So we're having an aha moment, right? We're having an aha moment. And once you felt that it moment, you say, you know what? This is transformational. And then you're off and running at that point. So this is what this show is all about. Another concept is health, and health is wealth. uh, how you're living, mind, spirit, uh, physicality. How are you self-caring in order, you and your household, in order to enhance your human capital in a way to where you are improving your human condition, all right, to self actualize where you want to go. Health is wealth. Uh, Another concept is that time and experiences cost money. We'll talk about this in future shows. Time and experiences cost money. All right. So, again, design, what is your life's design? How do you and your loved ones want to feel and experience? And 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 once we design that concept, then we can let our life lead our money. So this is the journey that we're going on. Let your life lead your money on a way to, for attaining and sustaining life, well-being, being, and meaning. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed chopping it up with you. This is the background of Life Money Balance. We're going to continue to chop in future episodes. Please continue to tune in. We're going to continue chopping, and we'll be on our life and money balance journeys together. We'll talk soon. Cheers.